Boxing legend George Foreman has passed away at the age of 76, leaving behind a legacy that transcends the sport and cements his place among the greatest athletes of all time. His family announced the heartbreaking news on Friday, and the world of boxing, sports, and entertainment has since been in mourning. Known affectionately as Big George, Foreman was more than just a fighter. He was a force of nature, a man whose name became synonymous with perseverance, redemption, and an unbreakable spirit. A two-time heavyweight champion and Olympic gold medalist, Foreman participated in some of the most iconic bouts in boxing history, etching his name into the annals of sports with his raw power, iron will, and unexpected comeback story that stunned the world. Foreman's rise to prominence began in the late 1960s when he exploded onto the boxing scene with a level of ferocity that made him an instant sensation. His big break came in 1968 at the Summer Olympics in Mexico City, where he showcased his unparalleled talent by capturing the gold medal in the heavyweight division. The victory was a defining moment in his early career, proving that he was destined for greatness. Shortly after his Olympic triumph, Foreman turned professional, quickly making a name for himself as a formidable contender. His relentless aggression and devastating punching power sent shockwaves throughout the heavyweight division, and it wasn't long before he ascended to the top of the ranks. In 1973, Foreman faced off against the undefeated heavyweight champion Joe Frazier, a man known for his incredible toughness and relentless fighting style. Many believed Frazier would be too much for Foreman to handle. However, in one of the most brutal and one-sided title fights in boxing history, Foreman demolished Frazier, knocking him down 6 times in just 2 rounds to claim his first heavyweight championship. The sheer dominance of his performance left the boxing world in awe and sent a chilling message to the rest of the division. George Foreman was a force to be reckoned with. Just 25 years old, Foreman was on top of the world. He successfully defended his title twice, further solidifying his reputation as one of the most fearsome punchers in boxing history. However, his reign would come to an abrupt and shocking end in 1974, in what would become one of the most famous bouts of all time, the Rumble in the Jungle. The fight, held in Kinshasa, Zaire, now the Democratic Republic of the Congo, pitted Foreman against Muhammad Ali, the charismatic and outspoken former champion who had been stripped of his title years earlier. Foreman entered the fight as the overwhelming favorite, with many expecting him to steamroll through Ali just as he had done with Frazier. However, Ali had other plans. Utilizing a strategy later dubbed the rope-a-dope, Ali absorbed Foreman's power punches early on, allowing the younger, stronger champion to tire himself out. Then, in the 8th round, Ali struck with lightning-fast precision, delivering a combination that sent Foreman crashing to the canvas. The world watched in stunned silence as the unbeatable giant had been beaten. That fight changed Foreman's life forever. The loss to Ali was devastating, and though he continued to fight, something had changed within him. In 1977, after suffering another defeat, Foreman shocked the world once again, not with his fists but with his words. He announced his retirement from boxing and turned to religion, becoming an ordained minister and dedicating his life to spreading faith and positivity. For the next decade, Foreman stepped away from the sport that had made him a household name. He preached at a church in Houston, Texas, and focused on helping troubled youth, using his own experiences to guide them toward a better path. Many believed that his days in the ring were over for good. Then, in 1988, Foreman made an announcement that no one saw coming. At nearly 40 years old, he was returning to boxing. The decision was met with skepticism, with many dismissing his comeback as a publicity stunt. After all, he was older, slower, and seemingly past his prime. How could he possibly compete in a division filled with younger, stronger fighters? But Foreman was determined to prove the doubters wrong. Though he no longer possessed the same speed and agility of his youth, he relied on his vast experience, intelligence, and an almost supernatural resilience. Over the next few years, he climbed the ranks once again, winning fights and defying expectations. Then, in 1994, at the age of 45, Foreman accomplished what was once thought impossible. He reclaimed the heavyweight championship by defeating Michael Moorer, a skilled and much younger fighter. The victory made Foreman the oldest heavyweight champion in history, a record that still stands today. His remarkable comeback became one of the most inspiring stories in sports, showing the world that age is just a number and that determination knows no limits. By the time Foreman retired for good in 1997, he had amassed a record of 76 wins and just 5 losses, with an astonishing 68 knockouts. His career was nothing short of legendary, and his impact on the sport remains unparalleled. But Foreman's legacy extended far beyond the ring. Aside of boxing, he became a beloved public figure, known for his warmth, wisdom, and infectious sense of humor. His most famous venture outside of sports was the George Foreman Lean Mean fat-reducing grilling machine, a product that became a cultural phenomenon and sold over 100 million units worldwide. Foreman was inducted into the International Boxing Hall of Fame in 2003, an honor that solidified his place among the all-time greats. Yet, for those who knew him best, his greatest achievements weren't measured in championships or records. They were found in his character, his generosity, and the unwavering love he had for his family and community. His family's statement spoke volumes about the man he was beyond the ring. A devout preacher, a devoted husband, a loving father, and a proud grand and great-grandfather, he lived a life marked by unwavering faith, humility, and purpose. They continued, a humanitarian, an Olympian, and 2-time heavyweight champion of the world, he was deeply respected, a force for good, a man of discipline, conviction, and a protector of his legacy, fighting tirelessly to preserve his good name for his family. As the world mourns the loss of a true legend, tributes have poured in from all corners of the sports world and beyond. Fellow boxers, fans, and celebrities have all shared their memories of the man who inspired millions. George Foreman wasn't just a champion in the ring, one tribute read. He was a champion in life. Rest in peace, Big George. Your legacy will live on forever. George Foreman's life story is one of remarkable transformation, a journey that took him from the tough streets of Houston's Fifth Ward to the pinnacle of the boxing world, and then beyond into the realms of ministry, entrepreneurship, and beloved public figure. To truly understand the depth of his legacy, it's essential to delve into the various chapters of his life, exploring the experiences and influences that shaped him into the man he became. George Edward Foreman was born on January 10, 1949, in Marshall, Texas. He was raised in Houston's Fifth Ward, a neighborhood known for its poverty and challenges. Foreman's early life was marked by hardship and a struggle for survival. He grew up in a large family and resources were often scarce. He has spoken openly about the difficulties of his childhood, including the experience of sometimes going hungry. The environment of the Fifth Ward exposed Foreman to violence and crime at a young age. He has admitted to being involved in street fights and petty crime during his teenage years. He dropped out of school at the age of 15 and for a time he drifted, searching for a sense of belonging and purpose. Foreman's youth was characterized by anger and frustration, stemming from the circumstances of his upbringing. He carried this anger with him for many years, and it would later manifest itself in his early boxing career. However, even in his youth, there were glimpses of the man he would eventually become. Those who knew him recall that beneath the tough exterior, there was also a sensitivity and a desire for something more.